What about Everton under Ancelotti? I mean, they have already got Allen from Napoli, who he has managed before. There's talk of James Rodriguez as well. And
James,
I don't know, James Rodriguez, my bad. James.
the cooler James.
And Cooler James. He has a point to prove. His career hasn't really gone the way that we all thought it would after the World Cup in Brazil and then the subsequent move to Real Madrid. So he has a lot of things to prove there. So what do you think about Everton's chances this year?
Look, to be very honest about Everton, they have a brilliant squad. They have like good players.
I wouldn't really say that.
They,
Brilliant is a
they have
strong word,
they
my
have a
friend.
good squad. I mean, to be to be honest, they have a good squad. Richarlison, I really like. Uh, who's the midfielder they have? The young one, Tom Davis. Like on his day, he can be good. Michael Keane, I'm not a fan of, to be very honest. But Allen, I think, will add a lot of solidity to their defense, and he has been I think he's ready made for the Premier League. I've seen him play for Napoli a few times, and he's very combative. Like almost reminds me of Patrick Vieira in his heyday. But like also he's he's experienced. He's 29 or 30, I think, and he is not really the young player who would need the settling in period. Let's see. I think Allen would be good for the Premier League and can actually add to Carlo Ancelotti's team. I'm actually more excited about James. I like the player. I like the player when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid. I like the player when he played for Colombia in the Brazil World Cup. But
Yeah, that's a
over
long
just
time back, my friend.
a long time back, yes, a long time back, yes. But as you said, like he has a lot to prove, and
Yeah.
he knows Ancelotti. Ancelotti knows him and respects him, which is, I think, a few managers in the world who respect James as a player. And I think that can be an opportunity for him to bring the best out of him. You never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Everton is there, but well, we'll have to wait for the start of the season to see how they fare, because they had a very bad last season. I mean, worse than they were expected to finish at. So I'm not expecting them to be top six or even top eight material, to be honest. But ninth or tenth, top half, yes, I am seeing them there.
I actually rate Ancelotti a lot. I mean, personally, from our one season or two seasons at Chelsea, we really saw really a top class coach at work. And I think in his last few clubs, there have been some issues, but he still remains a top coach, right? I mean, if he gets the players he wants, I mean, he likes James, and there's also talk of Dakori coming from Watford, right? Very good player. If
That
they
will be a good
get
signing.
Yeah, so if they get Dakure from Watford, suddenly the Everton midfield doesn't really look that bad. I mean, the likes of Sigurdsson and I don't really rate Tom Davis, sorry, but people have struggled in that midfield. Sigurdsson hasn't been the player that they thought they were buying. They have some really talented players up front. Bernard, we didn't really see the best of Bernard last season. I mean, if people really follow a little bit of Ukrainian football and Brazilian football in general, Bernard has been the mainstay of that Brazil
Yes.
team for a long time. He has been in the team over a lot of other talented individuals. So there is something there. And Richarlison, like you mentioned, is quite good. Then Calvert Lewis is young and has that slight physicality up front that they want. So I think Everton might not be everyone's cup of tea. You might be surprised by Everton next season.
Yeah, they can be surprise packages, but look, I'm going by. I'm biased by the recent form of teams. When I speak about predicted positions and all, I can't stop thinking about Wolves and Sheffield United. I mean, they have
Yeah.
been such well drilled units all through, and Wolves for 2 seasons now. I actually see both of those teams finishing above Everton, but yeah, the thing you said about Carlo Ancelotti, yeah, that's right. But you also said he needs the players that he likes to get the results he wants, and that
Yeah.
has been the case with most of his clubs at Real Madrid and AC Milan. Even at Chelsea, he had a very good team at his hands.
Yeah,
At Bayern Munich as well, and at Napoli, he did not have as good players, but still the Napoli team was also quite good. Does he
yeah.
have players of that quality at Everton? Well, remains to be seen. Two very good signings, James and Allen. Let's see how they fit into the Premier League. But I won't have too many expectations from them.
Yeah, when you come to Wolves and Sheffield, I think since there is still some time for the transfer window to close, Wolves have a lot of players that are being eyed by other clubs. I mean, everyone is looking at Adama Traore. Raul Jimenez has been really been in under a lot of clubs' radar. So there are lots of prized possessions there that are just waiting to be pulled. So
Not
I
to
will
forget,
reserve my judgment on them before, right before the season starts. Really, I want to see what they buy and if they manage to keep hold of their players. Sheffield United had a really unbelievable season last year, and as we have seen with a lot of new sides, sometimes it's difficult to keep that same
yes.
tempo and that same intensity in the second season unless they add some quality to their already decent team, which hasn't really happened as of now. So yeah, I mean, consolidating your position is very difficult in the Premier League unless you invest. It has been like that for many years. Every top team has strengthened at the back, which is why we are not really going to talk about Liverpool that much because there hasn't been really much to talk about.
Mhm.
I mean,
No, but
right.
speaking about Wolves here, I actually am a big fan of the way they play. And some of the players, like you talked about Jimenez, I really want him to stay at Wolves. I, well, to be honest, I don't want him to get to Man United. Is why I want him to stay at Wolves. But yeah, I mean, the playing style of Wolves really suits him, and he has been leading their attack consistently and like impressively for the past 2 years. That and did you hear about Fabio Silva, 40 million transfer?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yes, that's. I don't know how ready Fabio Silva is. I've heard a lot about him, and well, I've played a lot with him in Football Manager, and he has been great. So, but when you pay 40 million, like that's a club record for Wolves, by the way, for a
Yeah.
teenager, you obviously have high expectations from him. They tried, buying a young striker last year as well, Patrick Cuthron. That didn't really work out for them. So, I think if Raul Jimenez can stay at Wolves, then Fabio Silva will actually get that leeway to be the second fiddle to Raul Jimenez, or even replace him when he's not available and stuff. But I think their big, the player they will miss a lot next season will be Matt Doherty. He has been immense for them over the past 2 years, and he is a good Premier League right back. Both on the defensive.
Talking about Matt Doherty, let's come to Tottenham and Jose.
Yes,
You
Jose's
can never really
second
put
season.
Jose out of the conversation, can
Never.
you? So,
No,
what do
but
you think about the Spurs business that he's done?
I think Matt Doherty at 15 million is a steal. If you see, going transfer rates, if Serge Aurier is worth 23 million, Matt Doherty is easily a 40 million player, man. I
Yeah,
think
but
if they had
he
a
doesn't have
problem at,
age. He doesn't have age on his side.
he doesn't have age on his side,
15 million.
but Mourinho wasn't looking for a young guy there. He looked for a ready Premier League right back, which he
Yeah,
has in Matt
yeah.
Doherty. And I think they have brilliantly, taken care of that spot in their team. As for their other signings, I think what's I'm not really sure about the pronunciation of his name. Hodgberg,
The guy from Southampton. Let's just say the guy
Hobjerg,
from
the guy
Southampton.
from Southampton, yes, Pierre Emil Hobjerg. Anyway, so I think that can be a shrewd signing if they are able to use him well. And well, Tanguy and Dombele, is he going to stay? I
Will he
don't know.
stay?
I don't know if he's going to stay, but it's his second season. It's his second season in the Premier League, and we've seen many players who have come really, really good in the second season after being failures in the first. So two really good buys there. I would not talk about Joe Hart here because I think he's only a backup keeper for them. though he wants to already win trophies and stuff like that for Tottenham. Um, but yes, I mean they have they already have a very good squad at the disposal, and it is also Jose's famed second season, and it's basically Jose's reputation at stake here, because if he fails here, then he would again have to start from a side not as good as Tottenham, let's say, because he has been failing at his past 3 4 clubs, and that has been the fixture to be to be expected from him. So I think Jose will be going all guns this season, and we know Tottenham doesn't spend much, but whatever they've spent this season has been good. I mean, it hasn't been it has been well thought of, and well, Daniel Levy has been backing Mourinho up, and they have a certain Harry Kane and Son Heung-min. So they are heavyweights, however you want to look at them, and they have been
Yeah,
it will be a waste for this team to have never won anything. I mean, they have been a good team for about 5 6 years now.
Yeah, I like the fact they haven't really lost a lot of players this season.
Yes.
They still have that core team still there. I
Hmm.
know what Jan Vertonghen has left, so that's one piece of the old guard that they are missing right now. Although the new centre backs, Eric Dyer at centre back, I'm not really convinced by that.
Yes,
Jose seems to really fancy him, but I think they still need something there.
I
I'm
agree.
not sure what, because Daniel Levy is pretty tough to really get some money out of. But they haven't lost a lot of players, which is good for them. Um, I don't really think Jose has been, failing at his previous clubs.
Okay.
His last club was Manchester United, man, and he won 2 trophies with them. Yes, I know the style of football wasn't pleasing and whatsoever, but to be fair to him, he didn't get the backing that he wanted. So, I mean, it works both ways. So, yes, he has a lot to prove. I think the real challenge is he doesn't have that money that he always had in all these super power clubs that he has managed. Inter, you can say, wasn't that heavyweight in terms of investments, but he still had some big players. He
I
had
would beg to
proven
differ
Champions
here.
League winning.
He managed Inter at a time Juventus were reeling in the second division. There was no
They won the Champions League.
what
You have to give some credit. They won the Champions League. So, I mean,
beating
whatever.
Barcelona at the peak of their powers with Pep Guardiola.
Exactly. Exactly.
No,
So
but that's the
Mourinho
thing.
has some tricks up his sleeve. I still think there is some fight left in that old dog. So
He does,
yeah, I would
and
give. Yeah,
he
good.
does. He does have tricks up his sleeve, and he's obviously one of my favorite managers, of all time, because he was the manager of Chelsea when I started supporting them, and it actually even pinches me when I when I speak bad things about him. But to be fair, there has been a pattern to all the clubs he has managed over the past few years, like since 2010, since Real Madrid. Like the first season, he's there and thereabouts. He mobilizes his team against the world. The second season is his peak season. Actually, that's why I was talking about Mourinho's famed second season. He won the league in the second season for Real Madrid, for Chelsea, for all of these teams. And second season is actually his best. Even at Man United, his second season he finished second with basically the same team that they have right now. So, but the way he ends up at all of these clubs, like eventually third season, basically Mourinho's third season, is he he picks up fights with his own players. I mean that was maybe at Real Madrid you could say that that was a one-off or something like that. But it happened in Chelsea. After that, it happened in Man United, and he has left all those clubs on a bad note, which is new for him, because it was not the case with Chelsea, in the 2000s, and even Inter Milan for that matter. I mean, he's a legend in both these clubs still, for the service he gave them. But that has been the case lately, and one cannot really look beyond that. But he has Kane, and I think Kane perfectly fits the bill of striker that he looks for. And I think I think one of the biggest reasons he came back to Tottenham was because of Kane. And if they have a good season, it will be very difficult to stop them. But yeah, I think their defense lacks. Like they have not brought in a replacement for Jan Vertonghen, and Davinson Sanchez hasn't really proved himself, at this level really well. Their midfield is good, but um, well, it remains to be seen. How well they can do. I mean, they had a bad season, the last one, but the seasons before that, they had been faring really well. Like they made Champions League final the season before that, so they're always in contention. And well, if I have to compare them with Arsenal, I don't know. I think they really have a better squad than Arsenal at their disposal.
Yeah.
So Mourinho
At
has
this
the
point in time, I would agree.
Yeah, so Mourinho has the ammunition in his hands if he wants to, go for the jugular this season. But well, remains to be seen.